I'm Wes Hunter. He, him, his preferred pronouns. I am a Florida native who eventually moved to Boston to work.
My name is Kelley Hollis. I'm a soprano, sing with Opera on Tap, Juventus New Music Ensemble. My pronouns are she, hers, and herses.
Nice. Aiden Feltkamp, I use they, them, and on occasion, he, him. I am currently in Jersey City. I moved out of Manhattan for the pandemic.
Congratulations.
So I actually had just a random commission come in. So I actually wrote an opera like right at the beginning of the quarantine. And it was like on a really heavy and personal subject. And it wasn't something I would have chosen to write, but I'm really glad I did.
This is Opera on Tap, right? So
like, I thought opera was just like people screaming and crying and coughing, and like it was just like very dramatic. So I went to school to be a cello player. I like dove headfirst into opera and was super into it. I signed up for voice lessons. I did a lot of new music and a lot of Baroque. I went to grad school for opera, continued, and then I just came to this point in my life where I could not put off transitioning any longer. For a singing career, you know, that I've worked so hard on. And so I was like, well, how can I stay engaged with opera in a way that like really fulfills me? Because like as an admin, like I do enjoy like creating projects or like putting together like a producing kind of. Routine actually I really miss of like, you know, the walks and the commute and like, you know, listening to my favorite podcasts on the subway or reading a book on the subway.
Yes.
I mean, I've been writing almost as long, I mean, longer than I've been singing for sure. And I've done, you know, a lot of like fiction and novel type things. It's like really exciting to go on this new journey of opera, of writing it and then seeing it, someone else performing it. And so I think I was just like really focused at the beginning, which I don't think I would have expected. And as time has gone on, I think I've become like less able to focus. It was kind of two things at once. It was like, as I was coming out as non-binary in opera, it like struck me immediately how little everyone knew, which is what it is right now. And also this other part of like, always people asking me to like do these consultations and do these trainings. And it was something that like, I hadn't thought of pursuing because I was like, oh, well, I know these things. I don't think I'm an expert. But it turns out it's like actually, so I've gone and gotten certified and I've done a lot of work training myself how to do this. So recently I went to a conference that was a global conference for anyone working in DEI, and it was all different companies. Anything you could imagine, it was there. And I was actually amazed because there were a few companies like HP that makes printers, right? Or Bank of America, that their education around non-binary and transgender inclusion and education was so high level. I was blown away. More often than not, the story goes, oh, hey, we just had our first trans singer audition for us, and we actually don't know we don't know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Can you train us? Most of the time, that's what it comes down to. Like, a trans person or a non-binary person that's come into that sphere, and then the company's like, oh, we actually don't know anything about this. Let's go out and educate ourselves. Sometimes it's like, you go in for an audition, they give you an audition sheet, you fill it out, and there's only a male and a female box to tick, and that's it. You know, or, you know, they ask for your voice type, and you go in and they expect something and they hear something else, and then they're just like, Or they don't even look at the paper and they just assume your gender when you walk in, and they misgender you like the first 5 seconds of your audition. You know, this is like, these are not comfortable, not healthy, not, you know, psychologically safe spaces to be in. I think diversity is a huge thing. So not only having a diverse set of people on the stage, but like everywhere, you know, artistic director, conductors, musicians, you know, all the design team, like directors, like everywhere there needs to be diversity across the board. And not just for the sake of having diversity, but because like the company genuinely wants to create an inclusive environment where everyone can bring themselves fully to the work and not have to hide some of their identity or deal with microaggressions on a daily basis. Like, contemporary opera can do so much. And I think it just comes down to creating art, like you say, that's looking forward, that's being progressive, and not doing it to be like, hey, look how progressive we are, but as like, we truly and actually believe this, and we understand this, and we're making a statement about it, and hoping that others who are listening will, you know, start to think about this differently. Creatively, I mean, any character can be a trans character. Like, there's no roles that were written like, this is a cisgender male, and that's it. You know, like, literally any character can become a transgender character. Of course, you're trying to make them new, and you're trying to make them relevant. Like, do something that hasn't been done before, like, hire a bunch of trans singers and make all the characters trans. Why not? It doesn't change the plot. Like, it does. Count Almaviva is not cisgender. Like, we don't know that.
You would think that opera, because of what we have in the pants roles, this ends, and yet we can't seem to think beyond the like, well, this was written for a tenor.
To me, to my personal kinesthetic experience, like, this voice couldn't be any more different than the old voice. It's like a different instrument. It's like I played the cello and then going and trying to play the violin. Like, they're in the same family, but they're really not the same instrument at all. And that's the way it feels to me. Like, everything sensation-wise is totally different. Everything, like, I guess the breath is the same, but that's about it. Like, to me, the technique of resonance feels different. It's probably not that different, but it feels really different.
One final question. What is on your shirt?
This is